Remaining inward, we'll now listen to this affirmation for self-healing from Swami. The affirmation is practicality. Many spiritual seekers and others with high ideals lose sight of the need to make their idealism practical. Many even resent the suggestion that they try to put an ideal into practice, as though the very effort to do so would mean somehow lessening its purity. But God is no idle dreamer. Were the universe not kept in a state of perfect balance, chaos, not harmony, would be the common state. We too should be practical in our idealism. Life to be ever expansive must be a search for truth. Will it work? Is the preliminary question to, is it true? The test of an ideal is whether it is practical or not. By practicality, we mature from the state of idle dreaming to become emissaries of the truth. We'll do an affirmation together now. First, we'll do it very loudly to awaken our subconscious and create this new habit of thought. And then we'll bring it quieter and quieter each time. So first, speaking loudly after me. Though my spirit soars,
my spirit soars
in the skies of consciousness,
in the skies of consciousness.
My feet and hands labor,
my feet and hands labor,
here on earth, to make truth real to all.
To make truth real to all.
And now in a speaking voice, though my spirit soars,
though my spirit soars,
in the skies of consciousness,
in the skies of consciousness.
My feet and hands labor,
my feet and hands labor,
here on earth,
to
make truth real to all.
To make truth real to all.
And now in a whisper, though my spirit soars,
though my spirit soars,
in the skies of consciousness,
in the skies of consciousness.
My feet and hands labor,
my feet and hands labor,
here on earth,
to
make truth real to all.
To make truth real to all.
And now silently, we'll concentrate at the point between the eyebrows, taking this affirmation inward. Really focus as you say it silently. Though my spirit soars in the skies of consciousness, my feet and hands labor here on earth to make truth real to all. And then we'll pray inwardly these thoughts from Swamiji. Let not my thoughts lift me up through beautiful clouds of imagined possibilities unless you give me the power also to materialize my dreams. Om. And we have our reading today from Rays of the One Light. This is the weekly commentaries on the Bible and the Bhagavad Gita. So we have our East and West explanations for the eternal truths from God. This week is 50 as we end the year. Whoa. Its topic is living in the presence of God. Truth is one and eternal. Realize oneness with it in your deathless self within. The following commentary is based on the teachings of Paramhansa Yogananda. In the Gospel of St. Matthew, chapter 25, we read of a king, capitalized, for the reference is to God, who welcomes certain devotees to the divine consciousness, saying, I was an hungered, and ye gave me meat. I was thirsty, and ye gave me drink. I was a stranger, and ye took me in. Naked, and ye clothed me. I was sick, and ye visited me. I was in prison, and ye came unto me. The elect asked him when it was they had served him in these ways, and the king answered, Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me. To see God as residing in every human being, as indeed he does, is to open oneself to limitless opportunities for serving him. Paramhansa Yogananda, in Autobiography of a Yogi, described a saint who lived in this consciousness as the greatest man of humility I ever knew. He described a seemingly chance encounter with this saint. Another day found me walking alone near the Howrah Railroad station. I stood for a moment by a temple, silently criticizing a small group of men with drum and cymbals who were violently reciting a chant. How undevotionally they use the Lord's divine name in mechanical repetition, I reflected. My gaze was astonished by the rapid approach of Master Mahashaya. Sir, how come you here? The saint, ignoring my question, answered my thought. Isn't it true, little sir, that the beloved's name sounds sweet from all lips, ignorant and wise? He passed his arm around me affectionately. I found myself carried on his magic carpet to the merciful presence. If you would see God, watch for him everywhere. If you would hear his voice, listen for it in all sounds, and also in their supporting silences. If you would know God, seek his wisdom behind merely human knowledge. The Bhagavad Gita in the 6th chapter states, one who beholds my presence everywhere and all things dwelling equally in me, he never loses loving sight of me, nor I of him through all eternity. Thus, through Holy Scripture, God has spoken to mankind. Om, Om, Om.
Let's just take a minute to reflect on those beautiful words. I think just the joy that it brings you inside when you understand that unconditional love that beholds us. As the scripture says, that it doesn't matter what we are, where we are in this journey, God loves us and provides what we need. We just have to be open to it, and it's kind of an interesting concept, but it also brings a sense of peace when you truly take that inside. And I was fortunate enough on this just recently to experience the wonders of traffic in India and travel around, particularly around, which I've recently found Gurgaon to be particularly impressive, to say the least. And the driving is actually when I came home, I actually missed the beautiful cacophony of horns. And it's kind of an interesting thing, but it made me realise when I was there that on this journey, everyone is on a journey and they're on an individual journey. And the horn is one way to express, hey, I'm coming through, but it's also another one to show anger. And so it's kind of interesting. And then this is what we call travelling or being on our journey with no specific rules. And then you come to Australia and the energy is not much different. We still have traffic and we still have people that are on their own journeys. And they're still doing things to get where they need to, regardless of what comes into play. And, you know, if you think about every one of our journeys to find God or to find happiness, sometimes we do it without really thinking about, you know, who we interrupt on the way. It's kind of like a selfish journey, isn't it? It's like, yep, I'm going to find God and I'm going to head that way. And it's such an interesting thing when you think about it, that like that traffic, everyone is moving and finding their little pace. They know where they've got to go, but they're finding their little pace along that way. And it's kind of like this, when you're sitting back and actually observing it, there's some life lessons that sit within it. You literally can see the driver of the vehicle getting frustrated with someone that's sitting in the middle of a lane or not allowing a car to overtake them. So they're honking their horn. There's truck drivers that have to get across, so they're honking their horn and moving across. But what I realised is that often throughout these journeys, the driver is literally getting frustrated at somebody that just did what they did. It's like this mirror pops up in front of them. And we tend to do that ourselves. When you're driving, it's like someone comes past or flies past, or you want to pull out or do something. You're like, and you get sort of quite frustrated within. So it's kind of an interesting thing when we're trying to look at these readings from a sense that how do we live finding the presence of God in all things or all people? Because essentially that's what the scriptures say. God is in all things. They are the creator. In fact, there is only God. And so practically, how do we go about our day to do that? And I thought it quite interesting when this isn't, I mean, Asha just said this quite regularly when she was here, but she said that your greatest strength is also your greatest weakness. And it's kind of an interesting thing. If you flip it, your greatest weakness is also your greatest strength. Now imagine on your journey, the things that get you frustrated or anger or pull you away, they are down and out, and they pull you away from the aspects of God, or they pull you away from peace and harmony and joy that we should be feeling. So this is just a little quick practical tip that I wanted us to sort of meditate on, or even try and bring into our life for this week. Think about this. Think about that person that has angered you, frustrated you, or not shown you what you wanted or felt that you need to. So the first thing that I'm asking everyone to do is that their greatest weakness? Because if so, it is also their greatest strength. And if you can flip that teaching around to be that, instead of getting frustrated or angry, because again, who does it hurt? That feeling within you is the thing that hurts you, not them. So it's like flipping the negative. Let's look at the people that are in our lives, or whether it's a car driving past, whether it's a frustrating experience. If you think about that experience or the person that's done something to you, think and flip around and think, if this is their greatest weakness, it is also their greatest strength. And then look at their strengths and start inwardly saying, well, if they're anger towards me or they're passionate, what does that mean? That means that they are very passionate about what they do, and that's a good strength. It's someone that you want on your side, and it's also something that could be helpful to you. So that's one way to look at it. Let's flip those around. The second part about it is imagine it holding a mirror and thinking, well, this element that's frustrated or angered me, it's not the thing that's angered me, it's created something inside. It's stirred something within me. Because let's face it, there's nothing proven in science or in the scriptures that someone can project something onto you and make you feel happy, angry, sad, frustrated at all. So let's reflect on ourselves and feel that we're seeing something that we can work on. And again, be not hard on yourself, but think, well, is this one of my strengths? And if it is, or if it's one of my weaknesses, let's see and develop the opposing side to that, develop the strength within us, and that will overcome it. And particularly if you apply it to the 8 aspects of God, because essentially we should be able to see the 8 aspects of God in all things. One of the common things that are heard or ministers hear or people say is, well, I've been meditating for a while. When is God going to come and visit me? But if we start opening our eyes and seeing, they're in all things, they're in all lessons, they're in all people. We do see those 8 aspects or elements of God throughout us, our day. And it's just remembering that, hey, I was driving along and all of a sudden I got blinded by the light because I was driving into the sunlight. Well, guess what? That's light. That is God. You know? I walk past the store and there's some beautiful uplifting music and my heart filled with joy. It's another aspect of God. I was at work and I saw everyone at work really focused and concentrated and had a lot of energy and power behind it. It's another aspect of God. But we've got to be open to it and aware of it in those elements. And Master and Swami both said, you know, we have to practice as if, Master said, as if Divine Mother is with us always. And we can talk to Divine Mother as we're walking around and we get frustrated. We can say, Divine Mother, you know, help me out here. Which is the element of this person that I want to see, or bring it into it. And Swami said he imagined Yogananda or Divine Mother with him. And we can bring those elements into every part of our daily life to help us see those things, the elements. But it's about bringing them in. And there's one aspect of that, and Swami said it beautifully in one of his talks. He said, how often do we sit and pray before our meal and then we scoff our meal down because we're starving? I'm guilty. But he said every mouthful, every time we pick up that spoon is an offering. Bring that into everything that we do. And easier said and done, but these are the beautiful teachings that we had to bring God into our daily life. Did you have anything you'd like to
Shall I swap you?
Sure.
So I just wanted to share what a lovely practice that is for us to take into this season. Especially right now, there is an energy that's rising, and it's there behind all of the busyness of this season and the, to-dos and the shopping for fun presents. There's so much joy in that, in this spirit of generosity and giving, but there's also something more, and that's the spirit of the Christ consciousness that many, many thousands of years ago came onto this earth through the birth of Jesus, which was spirit coming to us in a person's physical form. And with that, we have Yogananda's birth, January 5th. The same thing, an avatar, God descending to earth to help us feel what is our potential. And so that is behind all of this. The next few weeks, and especially between Christmas and Yogananda's birthday, which is January 5th, there's a lot of powerful spiritual energy to receive. And that's part of why Ananda does a Christmas meditation that's inward, because there's such a grace around this time. Because when we open our hearts and we respond, that energy can come in and it can fill us. And there's a really, really beautiful story about how can we practice the presence of God, which is, as we all can imagine, through meditation, and then also in our daily life, in the service that we do, in our experiences with other people, which you expressed really beautifully, some really practical things that we can do. But with that, we have a person of great spiritual awareness, Swami Kriyananda, and he stood before Yogananda, and he was thinking to himself while he watched Yogananda speaking to the other devotees, thinking, I just want to love you, and I just want to give you more and more love and devotion. And at the moment, Yogananda could feel Swamiji's soul speaking this way to him. And Yogananda looked at him and he said, how can the little cup hold the ocean of spirit? How can this little cup of our little heart that we try so much to, express love for God, but how can we do it if it's tiny? And so what Yogananda was trying to communicate is that we have to keep expanding our heart. We have to keep expanding the heart's love. And those are the things that you were describing are the way to go about it. And so when we go into this season and we're thinking of how can I feel God's presence more in my life, it's opening our hearts more and more to include more people in our love and seeing God truly in that person, like our reading shared, and to also experience God in us, loving us. And the story of when Babaji meets Lahiri Mahashaya in the cave, do you remember the moment when he says to him, I have been with you always. I've never lost sight of you, never. I have been with you since birth, going through having family, work. I was watching you, and now I'm finally with you again. And that is happening for us right now. Yogananda's with us all the time, and he's just waiting for us to realize he's there. And then we can accept and experience his full love. And there's a really beautiful quote from St. Augustine that if you knew how much God loved you, you would die for joy. And that is the kind of love that we have the potential to receive. And we're born with that longing to fill our hearts with God's love. And especially that consciousness of Christ is really there to help us understand that we are love. And Om, which is the original vibration of this entire universe, was bliss. And what is bliss? Swamiji said bliss is love. Bliss is love out of motion. So love is bliss in motion. So if you think about the world at its beginning, it was like one note. Om. And then like a music piece, layers were added. So that was, plants and animals and people. And then it became more of like a symphony. So it was playing a lot of different notes, but it was all coming together. And if we can start to see our life more like a beautiful song, which we know the Gita means song of God, this whole song of life is there for us to see love in and to express love. And then at the end of this musical piece, this amazing composition that is creation, have you ever noticed when a piece comes to the end and it just ends on that one note? So if you think of this whole life as the symphony that God's created, it's the night of Brahma, the day of Brahma, and then the idea is that at the end there's stillness and rest in Om again. So we came from Om and we're going to end in Om. It's our destiny to return back to unity with Spirit, which that is the Christ consciousness, is unity. And so this is the time of year when we can go really deep into what does that mean for me to feel that I'm expressing bliss in motion. I'm expressing love. I'm being compassionate. I'm being kind. Kindness is simply expressing acts of love and with other people, So if we can just continue to deepen our ability to be in this world, enjoy the musical piece that's happening, our ego can't get involved and stop that expression of open heart and open experience of love. So when we remember to not get too involved, to get angry, to let our desires take control of our life, then that heart can be still and it can return back to that first note, that note of Om, which is that stillness. And it's just a pure expression of Spirit. So I have a reading. Okay. Oh. Sorry, I had a different one I was thinking. We're going to end with a reading from Whispers from Eternity Now. That's about practicing the presence of God in our daily life. And we talked about this a bit this week, about how we can slow down and take moments before we react, before we step out of love, right? And this is a way of seeing the divine in all things. If I can find it. So this is inspired by the Bhagavad Gita. It's called the Cosmic Salutation. This is Jyotish's favorite, and he encourages everybody to memorize it. So I'll post it later, maybe for the email this week. So maybe just take a moment and just return to sitting upright. Feel the energy of your spine going up to the spiritual eye so you can fully concentrate on these words, and you can close your eyes. O Spirit, I bow to thee in front of me, behind me, on the left and on the right. I bow to thee above and beneath. I bow to thee all around me. I bow to thee within and without. I bow to thee everywhere, for thou art everywhere. Om. Om. So, we can, I thought maybe it'd be nice to end today. We usually do our peace and harmony prayer at the end of our purification ceremony, but today's a little different. So if you all would like to, we could send out the vibrations of peace for the world. And, you know, the other thing about this time of year is if there's any area, a bit like, I think it's, you always have to help me, but there's a day, is it Diwali that people do forgiveness as well? Or is that another holiday? Focusing on forgiveness? Is there another one?
Diwali only has been a light.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe of a Jain religion. So this time of year, if you have any little things in your heart, before you come into this season, try to identify what it is that you could offer up to be purified in the spirit of this season, that Christ consciousness, which is unity. There's no separateness. It's all spirit expressing itself in this beautiful song of God. So we'll do the peace and harmony prayer, and then we'll chant Om 3 times. So feel free to just do it aloud with us. Lord, fill this world with peace and harmony, peace and harmony. Lord, fill this world with peace and harmony, peace and harmony. Lord, fill this world with peace and harmony, peace and harmony. Lord, fill this world with peace and harmony, peace and harmony. Lord, fill this world with peace and harmony, peace and harmony. Lord, fill this world with peace and harmony, peace and harmony. Lord, fill this world with peace and harmony, peace and harmony. Lord, fill this world with peace and harmony, peace and harmony. Lord, fill this world with peace and harmony, peace and harmony. Lord, fill this world with peace and harmony, peace and harmony. Lord, fill us with peace and harmony, peace and harmony. Lord, fill us with peace and harmony, peace and harmony. Lord, fill us with peace and harmony, peace and harmony. And then we'll rub our hands together, really magnetizing energy coming from the heart out through the hands as we chant Om 3 times. Om.